I could just hear the woman on the phone, like, just start crying and sobbing because they've been looking for this cat for 3 years. I want to talk about how acting on your purpose and your passions can save lives. So, those that know me know that I have been an animal advocate my whole life. I grew up on an elk ranch when I was a kid, and I had my own pet elk. I've rescued many animals throughout my life, including from baby birds that had broken wings, rescuing dogs that have been chained up outside, may or may not have done that, rescuing cats that were sick and end of life. I just didn't know it. And so this has been something that I've been very passionate about my whole life is being a voice for the voiceless and being an animal advocate, taking care of the animals, walking gently on the earth, and also take care of people. And so I want to share a story. So something that I've been currently acting on for my purpose and my passion. I came to the understanding that hypnosis is my purpose, that I'm here to use hypnosis as a tool to really help people become the best version of themselves by letting go of the past, being able to identify programs that need to be updated, such as programs of inadequacy, not being good enough, and things of that nature. And so hypnosis is my purpose. And though something that has been lacking over the last couple of years is my passion. Now, I am a passionate person and I do have many passions, such as art is a passion. But one thing that I've always come back to is animals. And so, because of that, after my dear beloved Monty passed away back in December, I started to get into my animal volunteering again. So, this is when I found Murci's Mission. Murci's Mission is a local small rescue, and I wanted to specifically work with a small rescue. So I reached out to Murci's Mission to become a foster. And since then, I've been able to foster 4 dogs since the beginning of the new year. So that's very exciting. And I've been able to help 4 dogs find their new home. And yes, it's very bittersweet. I love being able to get them out of the shelter, help them decompress, and watch them come out of their shell and watch their true personalities come out. It is one of the most rewarding experiences ever. So, right now, I'm currently an empty nester because I'm going to Portland next week. And so, I didn't want the whole foster dog responsibility to be on my partner. But there has been this neighborhood cat. And this neighborhood cat has been around for probably about 2.5 years. And this cat is so lovable. There's no way this cat is feral because this cat is so, not saying that feral cats can't be lovable. But this cat just comes up to you and wants to be in your lap, wants to go inside, and just it has so much love to give. And so myself, including other neighbors, we've all fed the cat, taken care of the cat in our own way. And so this has been going on for about 2.5 years now. And so usually the cat comes visit me. I call her Panther sometimes, and sometimes I call her Mamas. And so she usually visits me 1 to 2 times a day on average. Sometimes it's a little less in the winter time, but now it's spring, and so she's coming around more often. And so she came to visit me yesterday morning. And when she was visiting me, I noticed that she was really nursing her leg and that her leg was really swollen. And so I reached out to the founder of Murci's Mission and I was like, hey, I have this cat. She's a neighborhood cat. I don't know if she is chipped, but I do know that she is injured. And so we put together a plan where this happened on Tuesday. And so I was going to bring her to our volunteer vet on Thursday. And so later that night, I invited her in my home and I made her a nice little cat nest and gave her some food, gave her lots of love. And then in the morning, as soon as I got up and as soon as the vet was available, I then brought her over to the vet, 7 o'clock in the morning. When I went there, I was like, hey, I have this neighborhood cat. Pretty sure she lives right down the street. I just don't know who she belongs to, and her leg is really hurt and she needs some TLC. And so they scan her. There's a chip. So chips do matter. And so there's a chip. And then they call our local scraps. They are like a humane society here. And they find out that she's been missing since June of 2022. Almost 3 years she's been missing. And so the vet tech is taking down all the notes, and then she ends up calling the owner and she's, hey, do you have this cat named Macaroni that's missing? And they're like, I used to. And I could just hear the woman on the phone, like, just start crying and sobbing because they've been looking for this cat for 3 years. And so the woman's, I'll be right there. So Macaroni ended up being a boy. I did tell Macaroni that I promised I would not leave him. I actually told him that before he knows it, he's going to be roaming my streets again, and he'll be back hanging out with me in my backyard before we even know it. And so Macaroni and I waited probably about 40 minutes. And then this woman comes in, and you can tell she's just been crying. She comes in with her son, and they are both just in like shock and awe. They can't believe that it's actually him. So I found out, as discussing with them, that she was fostering a pregnant cat. The pregnant cat had babies, and that Macaroni was one of the babies, and they just fell in love with this cat. There's been no other cat that has really made their way to the heart like how Macaroni did. And so they decided to keep the cat. And she even showed me a picture of Macaroni's first birthday. Shortly after his first birthday, he disappeared. He was mostly an indoor cat. When he would go outside, it was only like 5 or 10 minutes or so. Then he would always come back. So one day he disappeared. And again, they live about a 40-minute car ride away. And so we have no clue how he made it from Colbert all the way to Spokane Valley. So the whole reunion is crazy. Last week, they were actually talking about him. They were talking about how they really hope that he found a home, that he's cared for, that he's okay, that he's well loved, and everything like that. And they never even got a new cat because they were still holding on to hope and because they just loved him so much, which I get. And so, again, this whole reunion was a miracle. I got an update. So his human mom and I, we exchanged phone numbers and hugs and photos. And so I got a text message from his mom saying that it's an abscess, like in his foot and his leg, and cellulitis, it's going up his leg. The vet thinks it's been going on for a while and had a fever of 104. And so they're going to sedate him, drain it, give him antibiotics, anti-inflammatory, and some pain meds. And then, LOL, $806 later, nice to see you too, Macaroni. And so that is just an example of how acting on your purpose and acting on your passions can save a life. And I had no clue that when I brought Macaroni to the vet, it was going to end up being this huge thing of what happened today. And so that brings me to think about how our actions, there's always some type of cause and effect. And sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's neutral, sometimes it's negative. But when we can act on our highest excitement, it not only does it change our lives and help us feel better, feel more fulfilled and satisfied, it's also going to help change the lives around other people around you. My name is Cyndal. Please go ahead, subscribe, take care, and breathe deeply. Until next time, thank you.